Into the game, we'll have to see. We just picked up a little bit on how this first level is going to work out. Really just not going in anybody's favor. There's not much crowd control on either side, so if anything, we'll just see a few early pokes, that early ward for really just vision on the jungle.
No different openers. You see everyone running the same exact boots. Boots 3 and
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And Fairy Charm, 2 pots, so extremely standard item openers for both teams.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's trying to get too aggressive here. They want to get this laning phase going in nice and slow. I'm sure Reddit Nation is a little bit worried about what could happen here as CLG with their full composition coming in very strong. And they are going to go actually for that ward, as I said, not really looking to take out anything, but they went power in numbers because Reddit Nation obviously looking for that invasion have actually put themselves all bottom. So
30 seconds until
we could actually see a few of them
spawn.
stay here with the jungle if they are waiting for them to come back.
They predicted the blue side invade from this team, and they're looking to pick off the invade. They're covering one path of the ward, and they're staying at the other path. They're hoping that CLG.EU will invade and come in and cut them off. Because I think if they straight up fight with Sona Aura, as long as they're not harassed with just Sona Boat, it'd be really tough to deal with if they just run face first into the other team. But it looks
Minions
like
have spawned.
Both teams just said one word at the start of the game, and pretty much be it.
Alright, and we'll see what they have to do as they move to top lane. They have to swap on the lanes here, and actually, I believe you said this before, if Reddit Nation were to go for a Kagron pickup, they don't feel safe enough to put that against the lane, so.
No, that's a very, very smart way to phase. That's actually what they needed to do, because they get out too well in Rumble. As you can see, CLG is back to their original 1v2. Because definitely, if they were looking to win, I'll be curious to see the lane normally, or
when you see a lane swap like this, obviously it's not as easy to see right in the beginning, but when you see it not working, you're saying the lane swap is working against us. What's the safest point to switch to lose the least amount of experience and just find yourself able to counter it?
After you shove out the top lane, that's the ideal moment you should look to swap. A lot of times we talk about this blue side versus side difference, and how blue side is naturally better because you get the double golem start. So what teams have done is on purple side, they send the 1v2 top and take the double golems, just like if they're a blue side.
Right,
so
exactly.
So
get
you
that
see
advantage.
this cog, like they have started with an equal lane, even though they're purple side. So they negate a lot of the supposed map imbalance here by just by lane swapping, which is very, very smart.
You can see that level 2 cog pushing out that level 1 Wicked, actually Sona leveling as well, so that's 4 abilities to the 1 right now of Wicked. He is not having a fun time. He's going to get a little bit better when he gets that scrap shield, but you can just see him trying to throw back harass. Damn good thing he's not a mana champion. That invade on into mid, it's going to be the twisted advance, but under the turret, they're only able to get a little harass down. So top lane continuing to push, Wild Turtle elimination, just trying to keep that right in Wicked's face. Hale finishing up on his red buff. He's going to get back. Looks like he's going to go for Wolves. No real pressure yet. Lee Sin is all up in the face of Nintenso right now. Froggen just shielding off the damage with that safeguard. He's going to back himself out. Still good farming going on in mid. Wicked really going to be needing to call for help here from Snoopy. We'll have to see what he can do. He's only on his Wolves right now, but he looks like his path could meet him. Froggen actually looking to go towards top lane here. If he's not just looking to take wraiths.
Froggen playing really smart. Knowing that Shen has to go and help bottom lane, he goes to look for a wraith camp, and he knows that Shen's weak in the jungle. So even if Shen looks to catch Lee Sin early, there's really not much pressure Shen and Lee can do to stop Froggen from getting away.
You can just see the pressure Froggen's putting on, knowing he has the advantage in that lane, and he's toying with Nintenso right now, not even letting him get to that CC and just putting a really big stranglehold on that. This is going to allow Snoopy to pretty much be in any lane he wants, both top and bottom. A good pressure from bottom as well really is what's going to focus them to help out Wicked here. He's not having a fun time.
And recently, like, the meta has shifted toward one team looking to fast shove.
Yeah.
And the way to counter that is by sending your jungle to help out the 1v2 or help out the fast shove. And so that way, whichever players or champions are in that lane can CS perfectly fine on top of the tower because the jungler brings in additional pressure, and so they can't look to harass under the turret, which is very, very smart, which is why you saw Shen go bottom just to help out Yuzuki last under the tower.
Right.
In terms of which one of these 1v2s are currently winning, they're really, really equal. Like, the CS is within 2. It's going to be really hard to see how this game turns out until probably the side lanes hit level 6.
Right, we do see it is 7-11. They aren't even really getting a farm from that. We'll have to see what Wicked can do for himself. So what happens here? You know, obviously your jungler going to that lane every so often because it's just so aggressive. And actually Snoopy coming in here. Wild Turtle's right on the outside there. He's going to cleanse that off, and he will get hit up by Arcane Smash, but he walks away, and they're able to just turn back the damage. Wicked taking a bit there. Snoopy still good enough to get back in the jungle, so they didn't really counter that gank too much. They kind of just made it away with Wicked being alive. We do see the counter coming at the top as well from High, but he will not find anything for himself. They could have the dive onto this here. They have quite a minion wave coming up behind them. High is just behind the turret, but Snoopy has a good minion wave to help him here. He's wasted that Arcane Smash. They see the crowd control is down. They're going to move off of that, and they missed the taunt! High just goes under the armpit of Snoopy, and he's not able to grab that down. Very big first blood could have come from that, and in a lane that they've been crushing right now, that would have made it very hard for Wicked.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Tom missed, to be honest. Like, even as a pro player perspective, that hitbox...
Right, no, yeah, he was right under Maokai.
So a little bit unlucky there by High. So, right now, I knew mid would lane, like, or mid would lose here, because the Eve Lee Sin matchup is definitely stacked toward Lee's favor throughout probably up until 9.
Right.
It's a very long time until Eve can come back. You see Froggen already 20 CS ahead of the middle. The issue is that Lee Sin doesn't really scale too well into late game unless he gets snowballed 3 kills. And so Froggen's going to be looking to go aggressive now. He's hit 6. He's going to look for that kill 1v1 middle. Or 1v2 in case the jungler can come in.
Looks like top lane is returning. That CS is going to be 46-47, so both AD carries pretty much staying in line here with the lane swap going on. We're 7 minutes into the game. Really no big gold lead going on. It is, I believe, going to CLG because Froggen just totally destroying the race of Nintenzo every time he can. You can just see him a quick spell roll through all 3, and he gives Nintenzo half health and causes him to use a pod there. The blue buffs have been respawned, and it looks like they're going to be giving that to Nintenzo. He'll have a little bit better time in mid, but still, just Lee Sin being able to shield away that damage makes the trade so much in Froggen's favor.
And you see what Yuzuki came down to do there. He looked to help on blue buff as well as take blue buff experience because they're looking to freeze the bottom lane, something that both the 1v2s are playing extremely differently. You see High coming in bottom to help shove out the 1v2 just so Yuzuki can get XP, shove it to the tower, and hopefully try to reset the wave. At the top lane, you see Kagman constantly shoving.
There's a quick grab there. We do see High taking a little bit of damage. They're going to pressure this on. True Shot goes through. They are Flash and Arcane Shift in. It's going to be the lockup onto High, and they find first blood 8 minutes in. It took them a lot to get it, but they did come out with the gold.
On the other side, you see Wild Turtle pushing down the lane with Lemonation, taking a very different approach than the other 1v2 from CLG.EU. They just want to get this tower down as fast as possible, which is actually a really smart idea because then they can look to go immediately to the dragon.
Ooh, Wicked finds himself under a very low turret, forced the flash there, and with the aggression being seen all over the map, we can see how both teams are taking it. Snoopy was down bottom, as you were saying. They continuously push top turret, so these teams just taking everything into consideration. Dragon may be going down here. Oh, that's Lee Sin coming down, actually. So I thought it was going to be stolen, but all 4 members of CLG happily take that. It gives them a little bit of a gold lead, and now they can start controlling these lanes a little bit more. That Dragon's down. They don't have to worry about being out of position for it. We can see they already set up for that bottom gank. 4-man onto Malphite. Eve is missing right now, so they're going to consider that, and it looks like they back off from the situation. Still, Counter Logic Europe with that Dragon begin a little bit more aggression.
The best way Eve can come back into this game is by looking to gank the side lanes because Eve can one of those very rare champions that can just run straight through wards. Not a big deal because wards cannot see Eve due to her invis passive.
Yep. And they're even setting up for the lane ganks now. They're just realizing that it's going to be too much of a problem to come up from river, come up and try to get those ganks. CLG is just too on top of it right now with ward coverage, so pressuring it. Now they switch up the lane after taking that top turret, as you will regularly see. The AD carry duo will move down towards bottom and do the same exact thing, controlling the map. And it's something that Counter Logic actually has not done. They have not dropped the turret, so you'll actually see now the AD carry lanes to meet up back bottom.
But unfortunately, a lot of what you get from dropping the top turret is getting like the dragon control and being able to push down the bottom turret fast. But CLG.EU did a really smart play after they pressured bottom and got the kill on Shen. They immediately rotated to do dragon because they knew they had to secure that before Shen rezzed, or else they would lose it due to losing top tower. And as they got that, they really minimized the type of like lead that ReN Nation could have had off that top lane tower play.
And we'll have to see now, as I said before, meaning a lot for this ReN Nation team. The Malphite, the Shen, that Sona ultimate, that's all going to be effective in these fights. They haven't been able to do it yet, and we predicted that CLG's laning phase would be quite strong. Froggen was able to dominate an Intenso in mid, and he's been able to roam a little bit, not really giving too much help to lanes, but that pressure is just really pushing them back. Crepo and Yellow Pete were able to win that 2v1 swap a little early. Their top tower did go down, but as you said, Scar, that can create other advantages in the game. Waiting to just pull right here. Crepo in the bush on his own ward, misses the grab after she was not moving forever. They're gonna go straight on to Sona, just disregarding anybody else around them, but no, Wicked and Snoopy come in to help out this fight. Crepo may go down to that ignite, and he will. Will they grab an Intenso? It's gonna be a Maokai out going down that will really not have any effect on the fight, but a quick back and forth leaves Crepo and Wild Turtle in the death chamber.
I'm very surprised that both mids shifted to side lanes for that. So
Yeah.
Froggen went to go cover top after he shoved in middle, and Nian was holding the lane gank bottom. Unfortunately, the bottom lane gank didn't really work out in Orbit's favor, or in ReN Nation's favor. And so ReN Nation really has to find a way to get back into this game, maybe looking to force early team fights, because once Wicked's ulti is down, they have a really big opportunity to win team fights. But they only have like a 100, 150, 120 second window.
Yeah, it's going to be big. That's that second mentality part of the game. You got to remember when you have that Shen, when you have a Twisted Fate on the map, where you can have that window to put things in your advantage in very big ways. Coming up top lane, Froggen has just been roaming, farming up top for quite some time. That Ignite does not look to tick and kill Yuzuki, and Froggen is forced out of that turret dive. Great job there, and you can see the entire team of Counterlogic Europe mobilizing around the map. Froggen, nobody was in mid, Eve was down fighting, so he said, I'm gonna go top. You know, Malphite's not gonna farm alone, I'm gonna have to stop that. And he also pushed the Yuzuki out of lane and stopped a lot of that minion kill, or the crowd, or CS for him, rather. A lot of health coming out, and it just looks like they're trying to stay tanky for these first fight engagements. 2 giant belts, no gold per 10 coming on Yuzuki up top. And we do see that they're slowly just building a lot of damage for that first fight and the usage of their crowd control.
I'm really surprised neither of the jungler or the top lane or has opted to go for an Aegis this game. It would have really, really helped out the team. Even though there's not too much magic damage on the other team, like Aegis is just such a cost-efficient item, especially for team fights. I really would have liked to see one of them build those.
We're now 13 minutes into the game, still that 1.5 thousand gold lead going to CLG.EU. Crepo again continuously farming, or rather Froggen continuously farming those Wraiths, taking away Intenso's lane as well. He is 136 right now, the highest in the game for that melee mid champion for this one. So that's going to be great for him. He needs to get farmed up, and like we said, or like you said, Scar, he's going to fall off in that late game unless he can snowball. With no kills yet, he is keeping himself on top with that CS, so that should be able to help him. We're only 13 minutes in. They did get first dragon control, so they kind of have the map there. They have good wards around as well, so it's just for them to make the next move here. Wicked moving around the map as his top lane was lost. You'll see him returning there as Yuzuki just happily pushes that out. We'll see Shen picking up his Wraith, so Lee Sin cannot. Actually, they're already gone, so he can't. Froggen has been all over the place. Red buff on Froggen and Wicked as they put pressure onto mid now, and we do see bottom lane has back. So everybody, what's CLG trying to really put themselves in a position for right now with Dragon already down?
They're just looking to make, try to get one kill and extend their pressure in the game. So Froggen, probably one of the deadliest gankers right now. He does more damage than Snoop and can look to make a lot of mobility plays that aren't possible for Snoop without flash. It was why he's constantly
exploded down in mid. Not expecting Froggen to do that, but he quickly just split-second reaction blows up Intenso.
And that's the kind of pressure that Lee Sin can put on a mid. Even with the mid running armor, like Nian ran armor runes against that and knew he'd be playing against a Lee Sin middle, but that didn't even matter. The BF sword.
Oh, the grab in, High getting taken down, and it looks like he may be able to get out. The ignite is on. He is very low, but the fate will not keep him alive.
Unlucky for High, he went to collapse middle, but it's very, very dangerous running that route, and he just chose a really bad route to run. And got cut, and that was game over for them. They got a free tower and a free kill.
You just mentioned it. They were looking for that one kill to forward their offensive move, and there it is. They take down mid. They got a little bit of vision from a sapling down as it looks like Dragon respawns. They control the second Dragon now, 15 minutes into the game. That first one very early for them as they did see that bottom fight happening with Wild Turtle and Lemon Nation up top. So they had this one easy, taking down Intenso quite quickly there and then putting more pressure on that second tier turret. But they may make it back in time here for a fight. They're going to dance this one out just a little bit. No, actually, they just keep themselves in mid. I thought they were going to head down through that bush. So we have Counter Logic now grabbing up the second Dragon, increasing that gold lead big time now. It's going to be about 5,000 gold to grab on Lemon Nation. Puts Sona right in the middle of the fight for the crescendo, but it's not going to be able to go off. And we do see Yuzuki going very low. Like Wild Turtle pushing out Crepo from the fight, and they've just been focusing the non-AD carries. All of this non-damage going down. Wicked trying to face out high here. It looks like he will be able to pick up Shen, and he is safe. Froggen trying to put some pressure onto Wild Turtles. Yellow Pete, all the auto attacks, missing the Sonic Wave. He's able to turn it around, and this could go in favor of Yellow Pete. He will easily get the attacks down. The damage just trying to go for a little bit of creeps here from Wild Turtle, that is. And they come up big on that fight. It kind of went back and forth. It was really just blindsided by EG or Counter Logic Europe coming from that Dragon.
I really thought that ReN Nation could have potentially won that fight, but unfortunately it just seemed like the damage wasn't there, and I'm very surprised. Actually, part of the reasoning might be that because when you look over at Niantanto's skill build, he decided to skill W second instead of E, so only having one very reliable damage ability is kind of a questionable skill pattern, because he really needed the damage to burst down the Lee Sin off the initial burst, and he wasn't able to get that. Was forced to chase Lee into the tower, and Lee just turned it on him with tower pressure as well as the Ezreal, and killed him before Lee could go down.
We'll have to see what Reddit Nation can do now. They're really just on their heels a little bit. It's still anybody's games here. Counter Logic is really not pressing their advantage too much. They do have one. It's here and there. They grabbed Dragon. They won that fight. Not too handily, but they did win it after repositioning and finding themselves the right spot to be in. Well, we'll see them cleaning up the resources in the jungle until then next pressure. Reddit Nation looking to get this fight with the crowd control that they have. They really weren't able to use Unstoppable Force Crescendo or stand united within that, so none of the crowd control was used in the right position, and it was just a really big lockdown. Crepo was a huge focus in that fight, and with all that, it just left everybody else to do damage. Wicked chased out that high L9 rather. He was not able to help his team and bring that utility that Shen can bring. You see Counter Logic now is happily walking through the jungle. They really have nothing to fear at this point.
Right, CLG.EU just so far ahead, they can look to make these risks inside the enemy jungle, just because they know if they come down to a 2v2, even a numbers difference, they can still look to win.
What a grab there on Wild Turtle, and that is not good. Kog'Maw will not be able to escape. Down bottom, Yellow Pea getting attacked here. Nintendo, dude, everything. But no, he gets taken down, so that's two going down there. And it's just, they're trying to go for these 1v1s when they're already behind. They're getting very close, but if the cookie keeps crumbling, not going in their favor, just like this, another one goes down, the pressure onto High, and he's forced to just taunt out of that, but they go full in. They're going under this turret. A quick kill coming in from Frog in there, and they now go onto Yuzuki. The passive is down, and he has no mana to help himself in this fight. The tower being tanked by Wicked as they just micro in and out the damage, picking up another kill, and that's just that fearless roam they have right now.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, it just seems that ReN Nation just doesn't have the items to be able to compete with the other team. They're getting picked off one by one, and it's starting to look really grim for them.
Yeah. And it's happening. The 1-by-1 is so split up as well, so they can't really get back and try to stop something like an objective, a dragon, a buff. So as they go in, they can really just dance it out until their team gets there, and they're always one step behind these fights. It's going to be a 10,000 gold lead now, coming in very strong with those past few kills. Dragon should be coming up in the next minute or so. 14-4. They have been able to drop a turret, but it's that top one. They can get that bottom turret down and kind of start split pushing with the Shen they have. Oh, Wild Turtle again getting caught. Froggen right inside the jungle, just making sure he's getting his own experience. Finds himself a kill. And this is really crumbling for Reddit Nation now.
Oh, absolutely. Froggen and Yellow Pea are absolutely massive. Even Wicked has more items than the AP mid. And he started in the 1v2 lane. So it's really looking bad for purple side this game.
Froggen just playing tricks in games right now. He really knows he has the upper hand in every engagement that he's going for, so he's just looking to make it look good as well. He's going to back right there, almost baiting out a fight as well if it were to come to it. He's more than happy. And 3 members coming together now in mid for Reddit Nation. And then Tanso getting pretty, not fed, but he has some items that are going to assist his team. Looks like he's been forced to go for that Abyssal Scepter without really having the Deathfire Graphs to get first. He needed that defense from the other engagement of Counter Logic Europe. And just see Yellow Pete going down bottom. They're going to start positioning for this. We can see Wicked coming down. Dragon's going to be coming up in a minute, as well as just the focus of Reddit Nation is in mid now, so they want to be able to put that there. Top lane is quite pushed, so it looks like CLG.EU setting up for that next objective, as well as guarding a mid turret, obviously.
Reddit Nation really needs to look to make a play here, especially when they see Yellow Pete pushing bottom. He's going to be CSing that creep wave, and they have River Wardens. They know if he's going to look to rotate mid. They see Froggen top. They have to 3v5 though, right now.
There it is. They go into Snoopy, but they started onto Wicked. He tries to get in the middle. They're all really on the chase right now, though they could be able to turn this one around. Once they get to the turret, the ground goes out, and he just misses high. They were all able to kite that out very well, all about to half health. A good amount of ultimates were wasted there. Unstoppable. Coming out for Yellow Pete. Amazing True Shot Barrage coming out there. The twisted advance onto Yuzuki, and they will drop him as well. And that is just the back and forth. A beautiful kite out by Counter Logic there, wasting all the abilities of Reddit Nation. And looks like Froggen goes in by himself, will not be able to get off the ignite. It is actually down, so he couldn't finish the kill. Finds himself very low, but is able to get out with the assistance of his team. And you can just see how much pressure they have. Crepo's like, yeah, I'm like 700 HP, but I'm right up in their face, in between the second tier and inhibitor turret. And these guys have complete control of the map now, really not even needing to ward this side of the jungle, because they are always in it. Looks like they will be backing in a really good fight there. The engagement was huge, and they didn't even expect the True Shot Barrage from Yellow Pete to start
that was actually like a smart engagement by Reddit Nation, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out in their favor. And in those instances, as soon as you see that, you just have to disengage, because their team comp revolves entirely around Eve and Malphite's ulti to initiate. As soon as you use those, you can't do anything. So they should have just ran back as soon as it failed. They forced 3 flashes. That's kind of the best they could hope to get, and come back maybe in a minute or two and look for another opening to go back in. But unfortunately, they pressured too far middle and was caught by Ezreal with red and blue buff, and just slowly picked off one by one.
Yeah, that was a very big play for them. It was that Wicked, or yeah, Wicked. I keep calling him Wicked every time I see Malphite. That Yuzuki unstoppable force onto Wicked, I don't think it was the best choice. I saw what he was doing, trying to get behind a few more of his opponents and knock them up with the unstoppable force, but it was really only Wicked that got caught in it. And Snoopy had taken the first bit of burst damage from Evelyn as well, so it was really traded off. They didn't have the right engagement, and as they walked out, that Vengeful Maelstrom from Snoopy stopped a lot of the damage. They all made it out with half health and reinitiated. And how often do you see a team initiating with half health and win the fight? So CLG is really playing their cards right at this time. And it looks like High is going to get that Sunfire Cape, start to get the push on, and it's a little late for them. It's now, level 11, level 13 for a lot of people, but they can start the split push, start the strat they really want to come into fruition with. But Counter Logic is going to look to stop that with that 4-minute pause button from Baron here, as they're going to pick that out completely uncontested.
Reddit Nation does not even know they're here.
No.
And they really should have had a ward there. Maybe, because as soon as they give up free Barons like this, it's really, really hard to be able to come back. Especially with the kind of regen, and it's really just like, the gold is insignificant, but the amount of regen that they have means that even if they can't get poked down, even if they take like random turret shots, random harass, it's very, very hard to stop the push of a team that has Baron buff.
Yeah, and a lot of the things is you'll see, well, maybe Counter Logic will even do it here, is they're going to initiate that fight, let somebody get very low and draw them out from the turret, because you'll forget you want to initiate that fight. You want to win so bad right now, and you'll take those few steps off of your platform, and or off of the base, and it's really where they're going to want to engage this fight. Even under the turret though, right now, like you said, they're going to have an easy time during this fight. They have a lot of tank they can distribute around. Froggen's going to go in there as well, probably first, as he has been in initiating these fights 3v1 by himself. They quickly take down this turret. There's Froggen's initiate right there, but it looks like there's just too much around him. The Malphite would be too much slow for him.
They decide to give up this top in here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's a good or a bad idea, but especially with High coming back, I think they should have looked to engage. If they wanted to give it up, they just keep Shen bottom, keep pushing, keep applying pressure, because then at least they get something out of it. But if they're not looking to engage, as well as having Shen come back and stopping the split push, they're really not getting much out of this at all.
They really need to orchestrate the Malphite Shen ult in here somewhere. They need to pick off that one perfect person, but it becomes hard because you have to unstoppable force behind Snoopy, you know, behind Wicked on Rumble, and that's just a lot of area of effect damage that you're going to be hit with. And you can be locked down. There's so much peel for Counter Logic Europe and so much kiting for Yellow Pete to just get away from these fights and continuously beat down on them. And then you have Froggen in the middle of the fight as well, kicking people around, shielding, dodging. You know, you're going to fire a skill shot and completely miss Froggen because he just jumps to somebody else. There's a lot of things Counter Logic Europe can just do in these fights to put it in their advantage. And when you start with the advantage and the lead they're in right now, 15,000 gold, it just makes it that much harder to even win a fight. You need the exact perfect initiation. And it's really hard for Reddit Nation to find right now because Counter Logic is not letting that happen. High is in the front. He wants to be the first one that takes anything here. The grab goes in. They split that one. Crepo waiting for that cooldown. And it's really no initiation for Reddit Nation here. They know there's so much more crowd control to be had from this team. So they keep on their heels. And they may just have to concede another turret to poke Scarra.
Ooh, this looks... They can't afford to concede 2 turrets. They have to look to fight here. Because conceding 2 turrets just pretty much means that you lose all Baron control for the next 5 minutes. And they can't afford to do that and look to have any chance.
Oh, wow. There it was again. The 3v1 initiation from Froggen trying to kick him out. There's the unstoppable force. That's what they needed. Yellow P is down and hurt. A beautiful equalizer set across 3 members of the team. And it looks like they still are able to push this one out. Completely taking Reddit Nation off guard is what they needed to do. And they did it cleanly. Froggen, those initiations have been so helpful this game. They look to chase out and take down Elimination for one more kill. Froggen picking that one up from across the other side of the Nexus.
That was a really impressive Froggen initiation there. I know he was looking to fish for it, but I didn't think he could get it on Kog'Maw.
Right.
Kog'Maw just moved out of position, and it looks like Reddit Nation realizes they're going to lose this game.